what was it that really made you start taking the analytics and stuff seriously? And like, what sorts of like trends did you start noticing as far as how you started doubling down on some of that kind of stuff?
So I started utilizing I started looking at the insights and the information that Instagram provides you, such as like locations. And the one that I really focus on the most is the time of day where I have the most engagement.
Yep.
And it's something that I've tested out a few different times just because I've tried to like go against it, where I was like, well, maybe I'm only having an uptick in engagement because I'm constantly posting at the same time.
Sure.
And so I kind of try to go against it and test it a little bit. I normally post like videos or any form of post at like 9 a.m. each day. And so a couple of times I was like, well, what happens if I do this at like 5:30 or 6 p.m.? And those were always the ones that started out like super slow and then eventually would take off.
Yeah.
But the ones that I like really focus on the insights did at the 9 a.m. when people were expecting it and utilize that information, those were the ones where it was like I would see 20 to 50,000 views almost instantly.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, like I need to really pay attention to when my followers are on the account or on their accounts and utilize that.
Yep.
The other thing that I utilized was information from my followers in the sense of I would often do, and I'm sure you've seen, and a lot of trainers do this when they do have downtime or when they're traveling or anything, but I would post like Q&As on my story where people were welcome to send me any question they want. And then I would repost their answer to the story and be able to build that. And I started noticing like there was obviously trends on similar questions people were asking. And I would take those questions and then build reels around those answers to give more information. So it wasn't just information I was wanting to share and reels that I view are important. It were information and reels of my followers on their struggles and what they wanted to focus on. And a lot of social creators don't have that insight when it comes to 100% for a fact, this is what people want. And so I just really utilized the information people were sending me and building my content off of that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I have noticed you've done a lot of those Q&As. I actually, when I started noticing you doing them, I think I've done one of them so far, and that was really fun, but ridiculously time consuming. Oh my gosh. And then I didn't even realize the whole like you have, I think it's like, what is it, 24 hours or something like that to get back to all of them. And then they all just basically disappear. So
I've made a mistake once and I will never make this mistake again. So can you? I'm pretty sure if you go into archives, you can pull up past questions. I just don't think you can actually respond to it. I think you can just see the responses.
Yeah.
But the mistake I learned was I posted a Q&A. I think I had done like 30 questions at this time.
Yeah.
Because it is insanely time consuming. And so I was doing it. I had answered like 30 questions. I was only doing it while I had like an 8-hour availability type thing. And I kept getting questions like into the next day. And I was like, well, I don't want people to think like I'm ignoring them, but I don't have opportunity anymore to answer these. So you know how stories have to stay up for 24 hours?
Yeah.
I went in thinking, well, all the stories have been answered, like all the questions. I'm just going to remove the question box. But because it removed the question box, it removed everything.
Oh, no.
So I lost all of that. And I was like, oh my God, no.
I spent so much time on this. That was the first thing that I did once I realized that it had like a 24-hour cutoff on it. Because I think I saw you post that. I think you posted like, hey, sorry guys, I'm not ignoring you. Like it went away or this or that or whatever. I made sure that every single one of them that I did, I like archived in the like the stories archive thing you could have on your profile. I was like,
I'm in the
keeping
highlights.
Oh yeah. I was like, I'm making sure I'm keeping every single one of these and just have like a little Q&A box on there that people can go in and watch.
Yeah, and I have the same. So I have, because again, that's something that a lot of the people ask for is like, can I have can you add this to a highlight so we can go back and reference it? I was like, absolutely. And all of those questions were added into the Q&A highlight, but because they weren't technically up for 24 hours, they had all deleted.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing is I posted a story. I was like, I'm so sorry. A mistake was made. All of these got deleted from yesterday. However, the questions that I can recall, because it deleted it, I couldn't go back to see the questions. I was like, the questions that I recall, I will focus on those as the content that I'm posting over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And so, because I wanted to make sure, like, the thing is, I get so many messages every day, and it's still just myself.
Yeah.
And so it's something where I try to reach out to as many people as I possibly can, answer as many questions as I possibly can.
Sure.
Just because I love having that like authentic connection and being able to help people as much as I can. But I also have my in-person clients. I still have my family. I have my responsibilities too.